In the depths of the 1800s, aboard an English merchant vessel, I found myself trapped in a nightmarish experience. Bound in chains, we were African slaves, shackled within the bowels of the ship, destined for a life of torment in the Caribbean. The air was heavy with despair and the stench of suffering. But even amidst our anguish, a spark of rebellion flickered in our hearts. Whispers of defiance circled amongst us like an eerie incantation as we conspired to seize our freedom. We had seen the horrors inflicted upon our brethren, women violated, lives extinguished, and we resolved to fight, even if it meant a futile struggle against the English oppressors who outnumbered us and held superior weaponry. The fateful day arrived when the smoldering embers of resistance erupted into an inferno of chaos. Our shackles were transformed into weapons as we clashed against the crew. We fought for hours as we knew if we failed, retribution would be swift and furious. Our captors started shooting us. Some of us fell, but out of desperation, those who could fought on. But alas, our efforts were in vain. The English had the advantage and we were subdued, our rebellion crushed beneath the iron heel of their might. As we knew it would be, the repercussions were swift and brutal. However, much to our terror, their revenge for the uprising was far more horrific than we would have imagined. In their wrath, the English crew exacted vengeance upon our helpless women, snuffing out their lives as if they were mere insects. The pain of their loss weighed heavy upon our souls. Our spirits shattered like shards of broken glass, left with nothing but our broken bodies and hollow gazes. We were forced to tend to the surviving children while locked away in the dark confines of the ship's gallows. The crew, wanting us to survive the journey as laborers, begrudgingly sustained our existence with meager rations, reduced by half. Weak and famished, we clung to life, our bodies emaciated and frail. But amidst the despair, a glimmer of hope emerged, a pair of stowaway children, twins, hidden among us. Their ebony locks and dark complexions marked them as children of one of the fallen women, orphaned and bereft of protection. As the journey continued, we started hearing rumors of crew members dying. Usually when they were alone, someone or something was killing them. As the days turned to weeks aboard the ill-fated vessel, the crew members continued to meet their demise one by one, their deaths shrouded in a veil of mystery and dread. Each loss brought with it whispers of supernatural forces at play, and a deepening fear gripped the hearts of those who remained. The first crew member to fall victim was the ship's cook, a stout man with a gruff demeanor. In the dead of night, as he stirred a bubbling cauldron of stew, a sudden gust of wind blew out the lantern, plunging the galley into darkness. Confused and disoriented, the cook felt a chilling presence behind him. Before he could react, unseen hands pushed him forward, causing him to stumble into the cauldron of a scalding stew. His agonizing screams echoed throughout the ship, silenced only by the cruel embrace of death. The second crew member met his demise in the crow's nest, perched high above the deck. He was a lanky, superstitious man who had taken to carrying a talisman of protection. On a moonlit night, as he peered into the distance, his eyes widened in terror. The talisman slipped from his trembling fingers and shattered on the wooden planks. A shadow materialized before him, its eyes blazing with an otherworldly fire. With a bone-chilling screech, the figure lunged at the crew member, engulfing him in a swirling vortex of darkness. Stricken with terror, the crew member scrambled to get away from the shadow and fell on the crow's nest, and with a severe force landed on the deck. He died from the fall. The third crew member met a fate both tragic and surreal. He was a boisterous sailor, known for his hearty laughter and wild tales. One stormy evening, as he regaled his fellow crewmates with a particularly vivid yarn, the atmosphere aboard the ship grew increasingly unsettled. Lightning crackled through the dark clouds, illuminating the sailor's face. Suddenly, his laughter turned in a blood-curdling shriek. his body convulsed, contorting in unnatural ways, as if his very bones were being twisted and broken. The force of his torment propelled him overboard, swallowed by the raging sea, leaving behind only the lingering echo of his tortured cries. The fourth crew member's demise unfolded during a moonless night. He was a hardened seaman with a penchant for solitude, often found perched at the ship's bow, his gaze fixed upon the vast expanse of the ocean. As he stood there, lost in contemplation, a thick fog rolled in, swallowing the ship in its ghostly embrace. Within the fog, two shadowy figures emerged, their eyes glowing like orbs of phosphorescence. They encircled the crew member, their ghostly hands caressing his face. They touched, draining the life from his very being. His body crumpled to the deck, lifeless and drained of all vitality as the fog dissipated into the night. With each crew member's death, the fear among the remaining Englishmen grew, their hearts heavy with impending doom. They knew not the source of these supernatural horrors. Desperation clawed at their souls, pushing them to the brink of madness as they sought answers to the unspeakable atrocities that plagued their vessel. Suspicions ran high, and the English crew, fearing their own annihilation, turned their wrath upon us. They interrogated us mercilessly, seeking an admission of guilt. But none of us knew what the force was that was cursing the crew. In an effort to get us to admit guilt, the crew began ruthless killings, one slave at a time, leaving us in constant dread that the innocent children would be next. In the shadows of despair, a shocking revelation unfolded. The twins, the orphan stowaways we had sought to shield, were the true perpetrators of these macabre deaths. They were not mere children, but the embodiment of the spirit of Africa, reincarnated from the forbidden plateau of Lang in the ethereal dreamlands. The captain, sensing their dark presence, commanded the crew to separate the twins from the other children. The first mate, under the captain's orders, drew out the plank, bidding the children to walk to their doom, into the unforgiving embrace of the ocean. But as they stepped onto the treacherous path, a tempest of unimaginable fury engulfed the ship. The vessel, buffeted by the raging storm, trembled and swayed, threatening to cast us all into the merciless depths. Desperate to hold on, the men clung to anything within their grasp. With the fear of the twins overwhelming his senses, the first mate pushed them off the plank, and they plummeted into the churning abyss. Then, suddenly, from the tumultuous sea, a monstrous cyclopean pillar ascended, piercing the storm-laden sky. Lightning cracked across the heavens, illuminating the night in electrifying flashes. Strangely, the ship remained untouched by the flames of this celestial conflagration. It stood as a solitary island amidst the chaos, untouched by the destructive forces unleashed upon it. And then, as the lightning sees its dance across the sky, a sight of surreal wonder unfolded before our eyes. An army of felines, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly glow, materialized on the deck of the ship. Cats of all sizes and shapes, their forms ethereal and majestic, prowled with an eerie grace. But that was not all. Emerging from the depths of the rolling ocean, two colossal black lions, their manes, a dark cascade of untamed power, rose to stand alongside their feline brethren. The air cracked with an arcane energy, as if the very essence of Africa itself had materialized to mete out divine justice. In a frenzied flurry of claws and fangs, the feline army launched a relentless assault upon the remaining crew members. The English, who had once held the power of life and death over us, now faced their own reckoning. The lions, their mighty roars echoing through the storm, stood as guardians of our liberation, their eyes burning with an indomitable ferocity. The lions, followed by the army of cats, tore the crew apart. Their clothes were shredded, their skin filleted, limbs rendered from their bodies. As the last man alive, the captain was begging for his life. The lion opened his mouth wider than naturally possible and swallowed the captain whole. Amidst the chaos and carnage, we were released from our shackles, liberated from the chains that had bound us. The ship, a vessel of suffering and torment, defied the laws of nature, rising from the ocean into the boundless sky. It sailed through the heavens, carried by unseen forces. As the clouds parted, revealing a celestial tapestry, we felt a sense of awe and liberation wash over us. The African spirits that had manifested in the form of the orphan twins had delivered us from the clutches of our tormentors. And now we soared through the heavens, free from the chains of our past. In the aftermath of the storm, as the ship sailed through the infinite expanse of the sky, we embraced our newfound freedom. A sense of hope flickered within our hearts, our spirits rejuvenated by the transcendent power we had witnessed. We gazed upon the magnificent black lions and the ethereal cats with reverence, knowing that the spirit of Africa had not forsaken us. Together, we embarked on a journey through the endless expanse of the heavens, guided by the ancient wisdom and protection of the African spirits. No longer mere slaves, but liberated souls, we embarked upon a path of redemption and renewal, carrying the memory of our fallen brethren and the courage of the spirits of Africa both within our hearts and represented by the majestic twin black lions. As the ship sailed through the boundless skies, propelled by unknown forces, it traversed realms unseen by mortal eyes. And then, as if guided by a mystical compass, it arrived at its destination, the fabled plateau of land, a realm veiled in mystery and wonder. As we disembarked from the ship, our hearts filled with awe and trepidation, the air crackled with a palpable energy, as if the very fabric of reality shimmered with anticipation. And there, standing on the plateau's edge, were the spirits of the fallen women, their ethereal forms radiant with grace and resilience. Reincarnated by the benevolent power of the twin lions, the spirits of the women had been granted a second chance at life, a chance to seek justice and find solace. Their eyes, filled with both compassion and righteous fury, met ours, acknowledging the trials we'd endured together. In a celestial harmony, the spirits of the woman merged with the essence of the plateau, their beings entwined with the ancient forces that dwelled there. Their souls had become part of the very fabric of land, forever connected to its enigmatic power. With gentle gestures, the spirits beckoned us forward, leading us deeper into the heart of the plateau. The landscape transformed, revealing breathtaking vistas and otherworldly wonders. The air became thick with a sense of belonging, as if the very essence of Africa had found its eternal resting place in the sacred realm. And there, amidst a grove of resplendent flora, we found a sanctuary, a heaven crafted by the spirits, a refuge where our weary bodies and souls could find respite. As we settled into the sanctuary, a profound sense of healing washed over us, our wounds, both physical and emotional, gradually mending under the watchful eyes of the spirits. In this enchanted sanctuary, we were embraced by the spirits of the women, their presence a comforting balm of our battered spirits. They spoke to us in whispered words of encouragement, reminding us of the strength we had displayed during our darkest hours. Their voices carried the echoes of 1,000 ancestors, their wisdom flowing through our veins. United by the bond forged through the suffering and resilience, we became custodians of this mystical realm. The spirit of Africa, vibrant and untamed, coursed through our very being, guided by the twin lions and the spirits of the woman. We embraced our newfound purpose, to carry the legacy of our people, to share stories of endurance and triumph, and to ensure that the voices of the oppressed would forever resonate with the annals of time. And so, we became a bridge between worlds, messengers of hope, and custodians of the memories etched in the silent winds of land. In this hidden realm, Amidst the beauty of its untamed landscape, we found solace, redemption, and a renewed sense of purpose. As the tale of our journey spread, whispered by storytellers across generations, the English vessel had once carried us as slaves became a legend, an emblem of the indomitable spirit that refuses to be extinguished. And in the sacred depths of the plateau of land, the spirits of the woman watched over us, their grace and resilience shining like stars in the night sky, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the spirit of Africa endures, forever guiding us on our path to freedom.